Have you ever felt that ground shifting under your feet? Like a fundamental change is happening in your field? Well, right now, the very foundation of how we build software is doing just that. And look, it's not about one new shiny tool or some trendy framework. Nope. This is a full-on revolution, built on 9 interconnected pillars that are totally redefining what a single developer can actually pull off. All right, let's dive in.
So, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about this development revolution. Then we'll meet all 9 pillars, one by one. We'll see them in action with a really cool story about a developer named Maya. And then we'll break down why they have to work as a system. And finally, we'll get to the payoff, the new kind of developer this whole system creates.
So, what do I mean by revolution? I mean, this is a complete paradigm shift. We're talking about a brand new foundation for building things. You know, each of these 9 pillars isn't just another piece of tech. It's a tool that was specifically designed to smash through a barrier that has slowed developers down for, well, forever. Think of it like systematically finding every single point of friction in the development process and just eliminating it.
And this is the part that you really got to get. While each pillar is powerful on its own, their true, almost unbelievable power is unlocked when you use them together as one integrated system. It's that compounding effect that lets a single person do what used to take a whole team of people.
Okay, so let's meet this new arsenal. We're going to go through these 9 pillars pretty quickly. For each one, I want you to pay attention not just to what it is, but to the old, annoying barrier that it just completely gets rid of.
First up, AI agents right in your command line. And I'm not talking about some simple chatbot on a website. These agents live inside your terminal. They have full context of your entire code base, and they can actually execute commands. The old way of banging your head against the wall, debugging all alone, that's gone. Now you have a tireless coding partner right there with you 24/7.
Pillar 2 is, well, it's pretty profound. It's the idea that human-readable specs written in plain old Markdown become the actual executable source of truth. This just closes that massive gap between a human idea and complicated, rigid code. And the biggest implication here, your documentation can't get out of date anymore because the code is literally generated from it. That's a huge deal.
Pillar 3 is the Model Context Protocol, or MCP. The easiest way to think about it is like this. It's USB for AI. It's one universal standard that lets AI agents plug into any tool, any database, or any service without writing a single line of custom code. This just completely removes the nightmare of writing special integration code for every single thing. Next up, we've got AI-first IDEs. Think tools like Cursor and Zed. These are not your old code editors with a couple of AI features just kind of bolted on the side. No. These are built from the ground up for a human and an AI to work together side by side. They give you these incredible context array suggestions that understand your entire project, not just one file. Pillar 5. This one brings some much-needed sanity to our setups. Thanks to stuff like the Windows Subsystem for Linux, or WSL2, the same commands now work everywhere. Mac, Windows, Linux, you name it. This kills that old platform fragmentation problem. For an AI agent, this is a game changer. It can write a script one time and know with confidence that it's going to run on any developer's machine or in the cloud, period.
So how do you trust an AI that can write thousands of lines of code in seconds? Pillar 6, test-driven development. By writing the tests before the code, you create this automated quality gate. TDD removes the absolutely impossible task of manually checking all that code, and it makes the AI's output verifiable, trustworthy, and actually reliable. This is absolutely crucial for working with AI at scale.
Pillar 7, spec-driven development, basically puts a formal process around our second pillar, Markdown as programming. It's a structured way of writing those specs so that AI agents can execute them directly. This takes the human out of that boring, error-prone role of being a manual translator and just lets the AI get to work on well-defined requirements.
Now, this one is all about democratizing expertise. Composable vertical skills are basically reusable modules of expert knowledge. Imagine an AI agent just loading a HIPAA compliance skill or a secure coding skill. This completely removes the need for every single team to reinvent the wheel and resolve the same complex problems over and over again. And finally, Pillar 9. Technologies like Kubernetes and Docker have made deploying really complex systems, well, a lot more accessible. This removes the old gatekeeper role of the specialized DevOps engineer for many, many tasks. It lets individual developers deploy production-ready systems that, not too long ago,
would have required entire dedicated teams.
So, there you have it, the 9 pillars. But hearing about them one by one is one thing. How do they actually fit together? Honestly, the best way to see the magic happen is through a story. So, let's meet Maya. She's a solo developer, and she's building a financial analytics platform. Okay, watch how this works. Maya starts by writing specs in Markdown, using that structured SDD framework. Then, her AI agent reads the spec and uses the MCP standard to access all the tools it needs. She collaborates with that agent right inside her AI First IDE. Now, here's the crucial part. She writes her tests first, making sure all the code the AI generates is rock solid. She then pulls in a pre-built vertical skill for financial compliance. And finally, she deploys the whole thing to global production from her universal Linux environment. And this is the payoff. What's the result of all that? One person, 1 week. She built a platform that just a few years ago would have absolutely required a 5-person team and months of work. Every single pillar she used removed a piece of friction, and all those little savings compounded into something massive.
So this brings us to a really critical question. Do you really need all 9 of these? I mean, can't you just kind of pick and choose the ones you like? Well, the answer really lies in understanding that this is an interlocking system. And it's a fair question, right? You're probably asking yourself that right now. And look, you can absolutely build software without all 9, but you're going to be running into walls and barriers that other people are now just systematically blowing right past. Let's look at a concrete example of why you can't just pick your favorites. Let's take Pillar 8, those cool composable skills. For them to even work, they need an AI agent to execute them. That's Pillar 1. They need that MCP standard to talk to other tools. That's Pillar 3. And they need a consistent Linux environment so they run reliably everywhere. And that's Pillar 5. See? If you pull out any one of those foundational pillars, the whole thing on top just crumbles. They really are interdependent. So here's the key takeaway. These pillars don't make expertise obsolete. They just redistribute it. Think about it like this. The cloud didn't get rid of the need for infrastructure knowledge, right? It just shifted it from managing physical servers in a cold room to orchestrating containers with code. It's the exact same pattern here. These pillars are making specialized knowledge accessible to everyone, which changes where your human expertise is most valuable. Which brings us to the ultimate payoff. Adopting this new way of working doesn't just make development faster. It creates an entirely new kind of professional, the M-shaped developer. We used to talk about I-shaped people, super deep in one area. Then it was T-shaped people, one deep skill, but with broad knowledge across other areas. But these 9 pillars enable something totally new, M-shaped. This is someone who has deep, functional expertise in multiple domains at the same time, all because the system is handling the grunt work and the friction that used to prevent that. Here's the new division of labor, plain and simple. The AI system, which is powered by all these pillars, it handles the low-level implementation details, the how. This frees you, the human developer, to focus on the high-level stuff, the architecture, the strategy, the vision across multiple domains. You get to focus on the what and the why. So I'm going to leave you with a little thought experiment. Look at this new foundation we've talked about. If you were forced, absolutely forced, to remove 3 of these pillars from your workflow, which ones would you choose? And more importantly, what would break? Your answer to that question is going to reveal just how fundamental this shift really is, and maybe how far behind you could fall if you ignore it.